All right. Testing, testing. Seeing if it's working. If you hear fucking loud people in the background, it's because I live with inconsiderate people who don't care that I need to do work. But, either way, me do work, cool. Sharing this on Twitter. There we go. Sharing this with a couple of very specific people. Hello, Valor. And sharing this in my Discord server. I mean, I'm okay, all things considered. Still streaming. Not gonna stop until I get physically removed. We will see how long that takes. And if anybody wants to hear two recent streams, the latest one will be up tomorrow on YouTube, Odyssey, BitChute, and Facebook. And the previous one is already up on all of those platforms. So I'm itchy. There we go. All right. So, I'm exhausted. Been an exhausting day of getting a bunch of shit done, trying to. Taking a walk as I watch the stream, Valor says. Good. Fitness is good. All right. $12,500 steps, also good. All right. Getting this going. Also, I'll share it in a few places on Facebook because I might as well. There we go. And then one more on Facebook because I might as well. You know what? The other one can not. So, if there's anything y'all want to discuss, feel free to post it in chat and I will address things. And this week was interesting, to say the least. Interesting. Because, while I'm not confident that I'm going to have enough to make it this month, I do still have a storage unit, so the worst possible thing that might happen is I might put all my stuff in it. I did not yet, William. But thank you for your support. I will be doing what I can to make it. Either way. The point is that, like, worst case scenario, I do have a storage unit. But either way, like, I've been getting as much done as I can, and I want to keep up this intensity and more. I want to do one piece of content a day minimum. So, like, this week, I did one of the streams, like, over Twitter Spaces. Like, I did one of those about Christian anarchy, and the next one will be either Wednesday or Friday. I'm not exactly sure. But basically, I'm trying to find the schedule that works best for guests and shit like that. This one went relatively well. Like, the people who attended liked it, except one guy who wanted to speak, but he had a very suspicious profile, and I felt like he probably was just there to stir shit, given the nature of his profile. So, my whole deal is I'm trying to get as much done as possible. I'm trying to work as hard as possible and get as much content out as possible, because I gotta, like, actually earn it. A lot of the last year I've been spending working a lot less than I should, to put it mildly. So, I'll be getting a lot more work done this year if I do make it, and really earning what I've got. And the user, let me check, because I actually don't remember it. But one moment. I think I can just go up here to the space and click that, and I'll be able to see the profile in question. I think that's all I'll need to do, and it'll be it'll be available also. Actually, you know what? I think I can just share my screen and show y'all, and you'll see why I didn't accept this guy as a speaker. I felt like he was probably just there to start shit. And I was gonna ask him if he was a Christian anarchist, but he did not respond. He didn't stick around long enough for me to ask, so that didn't end up happening. But this should work. Yeah, okay. Let me close this down, and then. So this guy just asked to speak, was gonna ask if he was a Christian anarchist. I didn't get the chance because he stopped after I started talking about not being boastful and in it for yourself. Was it something I said? So I just posted the screenshot here, and his username is fucking Power Within NG, and fucking God's favorite drinker, 20 years of hell, pro shit talker, Bobby Brink #1. I feel like this guy's just here to start shit. So if anybody knows him and knows that that was not in fact the case, then feel free to hit me up. But I didn't get the proper vibes off of him to just, like, automatically give him access. So that's what that was. But the conversation was relatively productive, so. I'm talking in general about a variety of things, Psychophia. Also, hello. Like, there's a lot of things that have been happening. Yeah, God's favorite drinker, that was one of the things that really threw me. Made me think that he wasn't serious. It's like in the have sex banner on his profile. I feel like he's very much just, yeah. I have a message from Discord if you are watching, Aaron. I will answer this and that noise, but, like, I'm curious You can type in chat there, because I'm assuming you don't have YouTube, and that's why you're not typing there. You can let me know how old do you think I am? I'm curious. I'm always curious when people ask my age, how old they think I am. Yeah, like the guy's banner just made like the his whole social presence just made it seem like he was there to fuck with people, and I'm not going to do that. The point of these spaces is to be better than previous spaces, is to be sort of a counterculture space, you know? So I'm not going to tolerate that sort of noise. Um, so I've got 34 from William, and I've got 27 from Aaron. I am 31, so basically in the middle of those two. Um, you know, it's usual that I get people thinking I'm younger for some reason, and I don't actually know why. But yeah, I guess it is a little bit closer to Williams' guess over there. What did I think about the Putin interview? Um, okay, so the first thing is, um, getting Tucker to shut the fuck up is a useful skill that more people should master. I mean, I don't hate everything Tucker was asking, but a lot of these rightoids have this shit ass habit of interrupting people while they're trying to talk. It's happened with me so many fucking times, especially while we're talking about a complex subject and I'm trying to provide a background for why I believe something on a complex level, and people want to cut in and act like what I'm saying isn't relevant. So Tucker kept on being like, "How is this relevant?" Maybe if you would shut the fuck up and let him finish, he would tell you. I hate that shit. That's the kind of shit I want to avoid on my fucking like content when I interview people, and when I like have my Twitter spaces. I want them to be productive, and I want people who have complex ideas to be able to fucking express them, because like while people might also partly be here for me and my luscious flowing locks, they might also be there to, like, I don't know, learn something. If they want people interrupting people and acting like assholes, they've got people like the Tower Gang. You know, I'm better. I'm better. I want better content, better shit, better things moving forward. So yeah, Blue 64 GT. Hello. Interruption is indeed a fucking problem. It sucks because you're trying to get information. The point of these things should be to get information out that was not already out, to provide that value. And if people won't shut the fuck up and let the other person talk, there's no point for them being there. The point of them being there is to say something that otherwise you would not be able to get. If you want Putin's perspective, for some reason, get it. And don't stem the flow because you want to ask how it's relevant. He's probably getting around to that. And in fact, he was getting around to that. It's happened to me so many fucking times. It's so fucking irritating. And then, like, I'll get a little loud, and people will complain that I'm loud. It's like, maybe I wouldn't be loud if you weren't interrupting me. Maybe if you want me to stay at a calm, low volume, we should talk like humans, having a reasoned conversation, respecting each other's fucking space to actually say what we need to say. So I thought Tucker was held to the fire in this regard because he's used to doing that. He's used to running roughshod over people, especially if he disagrees with them. He needs to get better about that. So do all interviewers. So do everybody. William's like, nah, scream at me, daddy. Well, I do scream, but I try to keep it to when it's actually warranted. Like, if I'm trying to finish my sentence, I will increase my volume, And even if it makes the recording completely useless because I'm being loud and the software is trying to normalize two competing voices, and so you can't hear fucking shit, I'm going to do that. I'm going to make it fucking useless before I let you make my time useless. Revenge, motherfucker. Valor's like, my parents are Tucker Carlson meat writers. You're literally the opposite of them. Yeah, good to hear. Blue 46 GT says, I wish YouTube let me update live chat comments. Yeah, for sure. Though, if you're interested in updating anything, feel free to update my fucking donation links, because I gotta make 300 before the day is over. But either way, all that aside, Putin was sort of propaganda-y. Like, he had some propaganda-y elements to him, where the side of the government was, like, unilaterally supported. So, what I mean by that is that he had a very, very propaganda way of speaking. The, like, history that led up to this is one side being a problem, basically, and the, like, if we want, like, a better future, that side has to acquiesce. Yes, NATO is a problem. Yes, it's a problem that it was one of the institutions, much like the CIA, that was used and created to contain Russia. And yes, they should fuck off. But at the same time, it's not like the Russian government is much better. So, it's like BRICS is like, you know, a competing hegemony. They are a competing global order. They are still globalists, and their empires have their designs on expansion, you know? So the idea that they don't is absurd. But the idea that Ukraine also doesn't is absurd, because literally from their founding, they have had fascist tendencies and expansionist desires, and one of the founding planks of the Decalogue of the Ukrainian nationalist was the enslavement of foreigners. So it's worth remembering that, and it's worth remembering that the people who got funded to start with from U.S. money, like Aerodynamic and Muscular, those people were directly responsible for how Ukraine has risen up. So, yeah, we need to be honest about all this. We need to be honest and say that indeed, the both sides are bad. All sides are bad. All states are bad, and all of these sides that have all of these states are bad. So, you know, it's one of those things, like, anarchists especially need to get better about this. You know, fucking Sally Mayweather at it again with more statist takes, saying Putin was right. I told you Putin was right. Yeah, and you were wrong. Neither are right. It's fucking absurd. But here we are. Here we go. We got fucking statists masquerading as libertarians and pretending that they can be libertarian while supporting fascists like Javier Milei and Vladimir Putin. Like, the fact that this is one of the things that's fun about the left, is that they claim all this social progress noise, and then when it comes to supporting a fascist who is against the minorities that they claim to support, who's routinely he outlawed LGBT as an extremist organization. I wonder why. It's almost like the kinds of people who would oppose what he and his government do might be further left, and they also might be affiliated with LGBT as an identity, because right-wingers generally tend to be regressive toward minorities in this way, at least in an authoritarian right sense. And so when you get that, you get people in charge who want to control you based on various innate characteristics. And You get people like Putin who outlaw LGBT people and call it an extremist organization. It's not an organization, it's people and their classifiers. Imagine if he outlawed black people as an extremist organization. Fucking asinine. But people want to support him, claim to be leftists, claim to be anti-regressive, claim to be progressive, claim to be like some sort of social justice, blah blah. And then a lot of these people will just Western hegemony their way into justifying anything that's done against it. They're like war in Iraq brained. Also, so what I think about the Putin interview, I hope that he was being serious and genuine and legitimate in his claims that he wants peace. I doubt it, but I hope so. You know? Because if there was an actual peace talk and this war could stop, that'd be great. It's one of the many situations bubbling over there. But you know, even if that's the case, the Warsaw Treaty was torn up as well. So it's like, you know what? I feel like these sorts of things are the kinds of things manufactured by the elites who need occasionally, usually once every 100 years or so, a massive amount of bloodshed for their machine to keep moving. I think that's where we are. So, you know, I think we're dealing with the latest mass blood sacrifice, and I don't think Putin is interested at all in peace. I think this is all part of a global sort of conspiracy to generate war for the war profiteers. And I think that this has been how it's been for a while. You know, Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, Boeing, BAE, the only ones of like the military-industrial complex fucks that have remotely seen any sort of catastrophic losses lately have still only seen a ding. It's catastrophic by comparison, but Boeing is still thriving. Boeing is still going strong. Even after 2 major structural failures and the PR disasters that came from that, they're still making military planes and fucking hardware and shit. They're not slowing down. During the COVID lockdowns, when so much like pandemic money was directed toward the Pentagon, that situation provided an uptick in the military industrial industries while everything else was taking a nosedive. So it's like, we see you. We know what's going on. Hello, Earth Nerd. You know, we know what's going on. We know what's happening. What's happening is the state is building their next giant blood temple. The state is building their next reason for more power. The state is building their next fucking god. In terms of like justifications of control, justifications of domestic surveillance. If you thought the Cold War was bad, like literally the Cold War, you know, is the result of mass surveillance and anti-free speech measures and all of this shit. And now, guess what? We have better tools for all of that than ever, and people are voluntarily buying and installing wiretaps in their houses. And you know what else? These wiretaps are directly confirmed by the state to be for the purposes of monitoring you so they can lie to you. I posted my shit, like, my fucking video on AI fucking disinformation in several places recently. And one of them, I had this whole long asinine exchange where people didn't disprove me but thought I was hyperbolic, despite the fact that I was fucking reading the official document. This ain't fringe shit. I didn't find this on InfoWars. I think it was, like, confirmed by USA Today. It's not fake. I'm right. But these people want to claim I'm somehow wrong because, you know, they can't fucking disprove a goddamn thing I've ever fucking said. And they want to pretend that these wiretaps that people have been buying voluntarily and installing in their houses and using at every possible turn to make life easier and more convenient than ever aren't being used as an active tool of their oppression. But the government is actively saying they're going to get hyper-enabled officers. Hyper-enabled officers. And what does that mean? It means they're going to have a wish list of the technology that they want. And part of that wish list of that technology is the ability to not only hear in real time, because of the Internet of Things, all the current sentiment, but in order to monitor it, but also to use that current sentiment to build effective deep fakes that people will be more likely to believe. They call it digital deception campaigns. That's in official government documents. I wrote a fucking thing on it. I'm right, but they don't want to talk about the fucking truth that I post. They would rather just pretend that I'm being hyperbolic and Luddite and fucking, it's just a tool, bro. I don't care if a gun is just a tool if it's aimed at my face. I'm going to do something about that because people are using the tool in an evil way, and the only fucking avenue it has is to be used for oppression right now. That's what it's being used for, this particular technology. And the overwhelming thing of AI is we're going to make you obsolete. We're going to monitor you. We're going to control you. We're going to lie to you. We're going to do all of this because we have taken from you the product of your work, scraped it all, and we are now going to use that in conjunction with our monitoring services to fuck with you. That's what AI is. So, hello, Jester. I'm going to go mute my desktop audio. I think I still have that on, so you guys are probably hearing that loud and fucking clear. Apologies. All right. So, let me check chat here. So, like, yeah, I mean, what's coming is evil. We're being propagandized and we're being lied to, and people don't want to admit it. They don't want to admit that, even though it's the greatest evil. The greatest evil right now. Valor says, I'd be happy to have you as my father. At least you'd probably be there instead of not seeing your child for 3 years until marriage. Yeah. Sorry that happened to you. Jester just spent 9 hours painting. Aye. Yeah, your cabinet looks good. Let me go check the chat over here and see if there's any new messages for me. Aaron says he's watching on his phone, so he's not logged into YouTube. At least not logged into his channel. Gotcha. How far am I away from my goal? I currently need about 300. Unfortunately. I wish it was anything but that case, but that's about the case. Rose says she would have guessed 30-something, LOL. Yeah, about there. My face and especially voice say high 20s. Aaron says he's jaded because he's too damn old. The youngest people I hang around with nowadays are 35 plus. Well, hey, I'm one of them damn millennials. So, yeah, I'm one of them damn millennials here to make everybody's day worse by bringing up fucking terrible facts about the government and corporations and banks and shit. So. Rose says, wouldn't have guessed that you were in your 40s if you hadn't told me about Aaron. Okay, so this is just all of that. All right, cool. That conversation doesn't need to be read. Yes, I'm a millennial. I'm one of them. I was born the year 9 Inch Nails won a Grammy for saying fist fuck. Hello, Patrick. Also, new comment on Libertarian State of the Union, Alexander Trent. Yeah, actually, I'll read this. Because I might as well. Manage all comments. That should not play the video, because I don't want to play the video while on the stream here. And Aaron, if you like what you hear, feel free to sub on Patreon. Even $5 a month from all my subs on YouTube would mean that I would be handled for every month I need to be. And I could really do some damage to the state. Alexander Trent on that video says, this might be your magnum opus. Unfortunately, it's these types of Pinochet wannabes. I hope my connection didn't stay disconnected for too long. It just disconnected and reconnected randomly. Let me know if y'all can still hear me. You are a minor, Valor. I would not ask you to give me money. That is not my goal. Yeah, there was so for some reason it just bloop. I have a bone toothpick at this point because I found out bones are really like effective in that regard. They really get into the teeth very well. So I've been picking my teeth with a bone. So but yeah, Alexander, no, it's not, it's a chicken bone. Turkey actually, probably. Alexander is a good guy. He's a very good person, and he was responsible for like starting and maintaining much of the group cohesion in a lot of libertarian circles a while back that I was involved in, and he just dropped out because just toxicity, lies, bigotry, fascism. It's very unfortunate. It's because this movement will chew people up and spit them out. It does not give a fuck about liberty a lot of the time, unfortunately. Also, yeah, I might as well read some of these comments as well. Patrick Lynch says, depending on who you ask, I am either Gen X or millennial. Well, if you want to throw your month, or sorry, your year, I will check that for you, because it's fairly clear cut. Even though none of this shit matters, none of this shit matters. That's the thing. None of this shit fucking matters. Like, it's all marketing, basically. It's like trying to chisel you into demographic bullshit so that they can sell you shit easier. It's like, oh, I'm a baby boomer. I don't care. I don't give a shit. You know? If you're not a bad person, you're not. If you are, then you are. Unfortunately, a lot of people who identify with the baby boomer label are pretty fucking bad, as are the silent generation. I wish. But generally speaking, you know, fucking, so we're dealing with 1981 generation. I can just Google this. You're a millennial. You're a filthy millennial, just like me, because you come from 1 year after the millennial generation started, I guess. I don't give a shit about any of this shit, but yeah, you qualify. The Pew Research Center, Investopedia, all of them. You are among the oldest millennials. We are you are the boomer of the millennial category. And I'm just the fucking young up and comer cynical asshole from the 90s. Fucking Patrick Lynch says, the internet says I'm zillennial. Zillennial sounds like a fucking prescription. Talk to your doctor today about zillennial. What's my favorite hobby? Do you call fitness a hobby? I can't really fucking have a good day without a workout. So I guess if we're talking favorite, like a thing that I guaranteeably daily, fucking work on, fitness, I work out in at least an hour a day. Yesterday, I had to skip it because of an argument in my Discord, but yeah, probably fitness. I have my home gym set up of a suspension trainer, a resistance trainer, a pull-up bar, an ab roller, two ankle weights, a weight vest, and uh, a Joe Rogan mace, like on it brand. Valor says I do fitness for about 1 hour and 30 minutes or more. Yeah, yeah, and that's good. That's good. Uh, Blue says, "Oh, you've got a whole setup." Yeah, because like I don't want a gym membership ever. They're useless. You can do everything at a gym at home unless you're trying to like just if you're trying to get ass, maybe. If you're trying to show off, maybe. If you're, trying to really, really jack your muscles, maybe. If you want to be like a muscle bound bodybuilder type, maybe. But like even then, you can get a lot done at home, and practicing that way means that when, you know, redacted hits, you're going to be able to work out still because you didn't rely on a third party and their third party bullshit and, fucking spending so much money every month in order to maintain a membership. So, I'm all about that home workout grind set. Gonna do my daily workout after this too. I think I've got 2 notifications in my own server. Ah, one of my server members just came back from a snack food haul, and he's saying, specifically Mountain Dew bottle is Baja as it should be. Um, Voltage Master Race. Yo. I'm all about the voltage. Yeah, okay. Not sure this person wants this to be public, but I will say that a reason to go to the gym is definitely that you don't have the room for what you're doing. Um, you know, that's understandable. I'm not saying that it's never understandable. Um, you know, for me personally though, I'm all about like just doing it where you can, especially since if you can do it like if you're in jail, if you're like abducted and you're like not hogtied, um, you know, you can do it wherever you are if you already know how to do it without equipment. Um, to answer this question, which I think I didn't. Where is that? What's happening in Texas? Okay, so here's the thing. Here's the thing with Texas is that it's the kind of thing that really proves the divide and conquer problem reaction solution shit. I talked about it on the stream today in like the Twitter space today with the Christian anarchist. And the general thing is the people in Texas are very angry that they can't put razor wire in the water anymore without losing support from the federal government. And so Greg Abbott, um, he fucking uh, has this like absurd letter that he writes and says Texas has the right to defend themselves. Yeah, but that's not what it is to put razor wire in the water and push families into it. That's not defense, that's offense. It's building offensive measures that you can use to target people. Um, so I do not support this measure, and anybody who does is not authentically supporting liberty. But that doesn't stop a bunch of like this is the same motherfucker who ran COVID lockdown measures, even in Texas. This is the same motherfucker who supported a man who shot down a protester after driving into a crowd of protesters after this open-carrying, lawful gun-owning protester got between the driver and his crippled girlfriend in a wheelchair. Garrett Foster didn't do anything wrong, but he was still murdered. So Greg Abbott wanted him pardoned, obviously. A government that is backed by this sort of person and is engaging in xenophobic, jingoistic rhetoric in order to justify filling oceans with razor wire is not talking about self-defense. He's talking about building a fascist empire. Like, people rightly call Israel and what they're doing to the Palestinians apartheid statism. And they bring up the wall and the razor wire. And then people here are like, but wait, I want a wall and razor wire. Why cannot Texas do this? Because it's not humane anywhere, actually. It's not reasonable anywhere, actually. Especially when it's hidden in the water. So people who are swimming to try and get here, or who come here on boats and might fall out of them, especially if their boats get fetched up on razor wire, those people are not righteously pushed into that. And a lot of Texas border fuckers were like, you know, pushing people into this stuff. Like, there was video of like ICE people, like border patrol fuckers, pushing people into the water full of razor wire. That's not self-defense. And you know what is self-defense? Like, trying to flee countries destabilized by Western policies and fucked up by their military and otherwise damaged by this country. If this country does not want these people to come over here, they shouldn't make over there this bad. If people would have a libertarian foreign policy and say no foreign entanglements, maybe we wouldn't have to worry about a border crisis because people would be fine within their own. But that's too woo-woo, compassion, evil, fucking communism somehow. Fucking pieces of shit. So they've got to be like, self-defense, Texas is blah, blah, blah. All these governors signed the letter too, and they're like, we'll jack off in public about it. But it doesn't help anybody. Not even us. Because the reason this is happening is because of a bad government, not immigrants. They're taking our jobs, yet simultaneously they're lazy welfare sponges. Fuck off. Shut the fuck up. I fucking hate it so much. But this is the roots of fascism. You've got to paint your enemy as simultaneously weak and strong. So they're weak enough that they shouldn't be able to thrive and reproduce in your society, but they're strong enough that somehow they've done it enough that they are the biggest single danger, and you should be able to violently suppress that. Bullshit. So that's my whole deal. Like, that's what's happening in Texas. I went over it in the stream as well. Valor, did you hear about Is Not Real considering dropping a nuclear bomb on Palestine? It's not going to fucking happen. See, that's the thing. Because no, they're not going to do that. That's also fear-mongering. Like, there's fear-mongering on both sides. There's fear-mongering about evil Hamas, and then there's fear-mongering that Israel is going to nuke a it's a tiny little strip. It always was. Palestine, Israel, it was always a tiny little strip. They're not going to put a nuke there. Because they have to live there. They're not going to do that. There's no way. And if they did, that would trigger an international nuclear response. They would lose everything. They're not going to do that. It doesn't matter. They're doing evil shit because they're not going to do that. If all they had to do is nuke it to get what they wanted, they already woulda. They have to live there. So there's propaganda on both sides. Nothing is happening like that. That's not happening. It'd be strategic suicide. And yeah, but no. So it's not going to happen because there's mutually assured destruction. Israel could unleash their volley of missiles, but they could also like have a volley of missiles launched at them. And there are plenty of people with capabilities similar to the Iron Dome. Um, and the idea that Israel would throw the earth into nuclear apocalypse because it didn't get precisely what it wanted. If they were gonna do that, they already would have done that. The government there is run by fundamentally insane people. So if those insane people were going to do that, I feel like it already would have happened. I don't think that's true. I don't think that's gonna happen. But if it does, we're all fucked, because every government is gonna just slibby slap, push the magic red buttons, get everybody fucked. We're fine. You know? The world is run by evil, psychopathic, like, bastards. We're fine. You know? Hello, Liberimer, who says, IMO, most annoying part of this war and its discourse is all the entryism. Absolutely. 100%. Like, there are so many people just here because I don't like Jews or because I don't like Arabs. You know? Fucking Ben Shapiro coming in and being like the same person he's always been about this. Israel has been killing thousands of people for years, and like hundreds of thousands of people over the last fucking century, and displacing countless more, and destroying countless more, and the 6-Day War is an example of genocidal behavior, and the Nakba is an example of... But then Ben Shapiro gets to come in and say that, no, Arab countries live in sewage. Maybe they might do better if they weren't consistently bombed into oblivion by Western powers, but we can't stop that. Nah, we just gotta blame them and say that their culture is inferior. They're simultaneously weak and strong. You notice a theme? You know, it's the same shit with any sort of shit. You've got to simultaneously make them seem like, in this modern fascist paradigm, you've got to simultaneously make them seem like they're the most insignificant weaselly scum on the planet, and also that you need a massive military presence in order to support that. Like, in order to, like, go against that. No, you can't have it both ways, in fact, and if you think so, fuck off. Alright, so, anything else anybody wants to bring up? Just got another fucking Facebook message. Let's see if it's about this. I constantly get notifications. It's a thing. I don't know where my Facebook is right now. I've got too many tabs open all the time. Okay, so it's just this. Alright. Cool. Alright. So, if people don't have more to discuss, I will go back to reading comments. Because they are there. I feel like I've been derelict on multiple fronts, and that's one of them. Because the fact that I didn't have my fucking... Like... The fact that I didn't have my video content being regular means that there's a lot that didn't happen in terms of comments and comment reading. So, Owen Gilmore, OG, says, Malay seems unhinged in every video I've seen. Absolutely. Lots of stuff from Valor. Let me give you some thumbs and hearts. On one of my YouTube shorts, the truth community needs to work on this. No, we need more ancient aliens. Yeah, fucking... It's such a psyop. It's such a transparent fucking garbage psyop. Like, the idea that we should be focused on ancient aliens, or that we should be focused on some bullshit giant conspiracy or flat earth or whatever, all it does is discredit truth circles, because you don't need fucking proof for that. You don't need proof for any of this shit. You can just say it and say, they don't want you to believe it. And a ton of yapping seals will come over and be like, you're so true. Okay, but here's the thing, Patrick. I think that it's almost impossible that aliens don't exist. And I think that it's almost impossible that they give this much of a shit about us, or that they were required to make these structures. I think that that's bullshit. I think that they, like, the elites want us focused on that, and thinking humans aren't powerful enough to accomplish these sorts of things on their own, so that we question previous and present power. Or so that we don't question previous and present power. Because if they can keep us thinking that humans have always been too weak to accomplish these things and rewrite history, then they can keep people nice, weak, and suspended in their fucking VR headset watching their fucking garbage content about how ancient aliens built all this. And, you know, everybody's always been just as weak as you are, Mr. Cheeto Finger. You know? It's fucking planned patheticness. So, that's my stance on ancient aliens. Because maybe, probably not. Hell yeah, a new video, boys. That was 3 months ago. I have been not doing this for too long. Owen Gilmore OG says, I didn't see that article. I don't know which article he's talking about. Some of this stuff is stuff that I'll be responding to after I look into it. Because, yeah. It's been too long since I saw that video to know what he's talking about. I'll come back later with more information and respond to those comments next Saturday. All right, check the chats, see if anybody's got anything to say. But if not, I think we are drawing to a close. It is almost an hour. Been a relatively good stream, I think. But if nobody else has got anything they want to talk about, I will just say, if anybody wants to throw some stuff, let me just, actually, I'll just throw my donation links, because I might as well. I'll throw them in chat. And if anyone wants to support me and keep this fucking truck on the road, feel free. Because I need it, and I'll make it worth it if I can. And I'm going to work my ass off for the rest of the month if this does work. If I can get people on board. Because, you know, the reason this didn't happen, to explain it to people, is because my landlord told me I would have work. Told me I would have enough work to cover last month. And so I spent money that I wouldn't have otherwise had, and it set me back last month, and that set me back this month. Because the landlord eventually pulled that rug and said, nope. In fact, I was just talking about a few hours for you. And it was not, in fact, a few hours that he promised. He said that January would be taken care of. So December, I bought insane things like reusable water bottles that if I'm good to them, they will last me the rest of my life. And I bought them on discount because they were discounted as a part of fucking, like, December Christmas sales. So I got them on discount. I didn't spend exorbitant amounts of money on anything that month, but I got things like this that I needed. And thought that I would have a surplus the next month because I would have enough work. That didn't end up happening. So what this makes clear is that this and also the previous stuff I was doing for odd job employment last year isn't going to work. I need to find much more stable and regular shit. So that's going to be the plan coming forward. If I can make it. But at least, if I do have to rough it, I've got reusable fucking water bottles. So, we'll see. We'll see how things go. I've gotten a significant amount of support over the last several days, and I'm extremely grateful. So, yeah, it means a lot to know that there are still some people who give a shit and want to see me keep doing this. Enough to put their money where their mouth is. But I need 300 by basically day's end, so that's where I am. You know, I'll let y'all know. I'll keep y'all updated. But that's where I am on this. So if I get that, I'll try to be worth it. I'll try to make it worth it. Because it's been a while since I've been very consistent. And that does nothing for my message. It does nothing for momentum. If other people are the ones making the content and I'm not, I have nobody to blame for the lack of reasonable messaging out there but me. It's like I can say that other people are the problem. Sure, some people are, but if I'm not being a solution, it's just complaints. So I'm going to try to actually solve problems going forward and get things done. And be worth it. Because, gotta tell you, a lot of the time I do not feel as though I am. So I'll let y'all know. I'll let y'all know how things go. But basically I have most of what I need. I just need this last little push. And I'll be good for the next month. And I'll be able to use the remaining sort of 21 days here. Actually, fucking 18 days here. 19. To work my ass off and get this done. And also, if one of the things you want is a graphic, I do business graphics. I just got my first on Ko-fi graphics commission purchase. So if on Ko-fi you decide you want to purchase a graphic, you can do that. And I will make you a simple business graphic to your specs. I'm going to be filling this commission tomorrow, everything willing. So I can do work in exchange for it, you know? And if there's something else you'd like to pay me to do instead of just paying me to do this online angry anarchist conspiracy theory stuff, feel free to also hit me up. Because I normally do, I work for my shit most of the time. This month just didn't work out. So, anyway, with all that being said, dropping viewers like flies. I think talking about my situation is nowhere near as exciting as talking against the state. So, if everything just goes to shit, if the downward spiral ends with me being evicted, I will let you all know. And either way, I'm going to do everything I can in the meantime to smash the fucking state.